2016 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer Championship at Bellow Field in Medford, Massachusetts. Today's third round game features the Trinity University Tigers versus the Kenyon College Lords. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the lineups for today's game between the Tigers and the Lords. The referee is Gus St. Silva. The first assistant referee is Timothy Lykowski. The second assistant referee is Jason Dizek. The alternate referee at the scorer's table is Eric Rossetti. For the visiting team, the Kenyon Lords, let's meet the nine. First, a freshman from Hamilton, New Zealand, number 10, John Pennis. A sophomore from Crested Butte, Colorado, number 12, Bryce Koval. A sophomore from Katona, New York, number 13, Will Bennett. A sophomore from Urbana, Illinois, number 14, David Anderson. A freshman from Grand Island, New York, number 15, Eric Albrecht. A sophomore from Snohomish, Washington, number 16, Kevin Dewan. A senior from Medford Center, Vermont, number 17, Gabe Front. A sophomore from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, number 18, Greg McNear. A freshman from Miami, Florida, number 23, Philippe Stengel. A junior from Kohler, Wisconsin, number 25, Billy O'Neill. A senior from Alexandria, Virginia, number 26, Grant Cohen. A sophomore from Mill Valley, California, number 27, Eli Schwartz. And finally, a senior from Southport, Connecticut, number 30, Alex Pincus. And now for the Kenyon starters. A senior from Dublin, Ireland, number 1, Sam Plower. A senior from Dallas, Texas, number 2, Dalton Udy. A senior from Mercer Island, Washington, number 3, Josh Lee. A senior from Winnetka, Illinois, number 4, David Resnikoff. A junior from Lebanon, Ohio, number 6, Henry Myers. A junior from Madison, Wisconsin, number 7, Woo Jeon. A senior from Lagos, Nigeria, number 8, Tony Omolo. A sophomore from Katy, Texas, number 9, Alberto Carmona. A junior from Natick, Massachusetts, number 11, Oliver Wynn. A sophomore from Evanston, Illinois, number 19, Brett Lowry. A senior from Madison, Connecticut, number 24, Jordan Glassman. The assistant coach for the Lords is Darren Moore. The Kenyon head coach is Chris Brown. And now, for the home team, Trinity Tigers, let's meet the non-starters. First, a senior from San Antonio, Texas, number 4, Zach True. A junior from San Antonio, Texas, number 6, Ian Morris. A junior from Austin, Texas, number 8, Cooper Fife. A freshman from Katy, Texas, number 9, Donovan Smith. A senior from Sydney, Australia, number 12, Todd Edwards. A sophomore from Austin, Texas, number 20, Luke Scranton. A freshman from Sugar Land, Texas, number 21, Kamran Musavi. A freshman from Coppell, Texas, number 24, Brandon Bond. A sophomore from Albuquerque, New Mexico, number 26, Ryan Hunter. A freshman from Northampton, England, number 29, Brady Johnston. A senior from London, England, number 32, Callum Squires. A freshman from Stavanger, Norway, number 33, Vetla Masver Halle. And finally, a freshman from Bradenton, Florida, number 44, Chris Morris. And now for the Trinity starters. First, a senior from Goulburn, Australia, number 1, Todd Whitaker. A senior from Saltillo, Mexico, number 2, Francisco Vasquez. A sophomore from Bolton, England, number 5, Lawrence White. A sophomore from Coppell, Texas, number 7, Austin Michaelis. A junior from Dallas, Texas, number 10, Daniel Ruano. A junior from Dallas, Texas, number 13, Dalen Gordon. A junior from Dallas, Texas, number 14, Guy Harris. A junior from Coppell, Texas, number 19, Chris Madden. A junior from Coppell, Texas, number 22, Kellen Reed. And finally, a sophomore from San Antonio, Texas, number 25, Christian Sackshaw. The assistant coaches for the Tigers are Edward Hardy, Tom Carwile, and Juan Madrid.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Tufts Jumbocast. Here now with the second of our Sweet 16 matchups in the NCAA Division III Soccer Tournament. I'm Bernie Birnbaum alongside Owen Finnegan, and this one we have for you, it's a big one. We've got Trinity of Texas, not to be confused with the NESCAC school from Connecticut, number 5 ranked in the country, and they're going to take on number 3, and they're going to take on Kenyon from Ohio. They're number 5 in the country. Honestly, this could be a national semifinal if you just look at the rankings there. Owen, what are you looking at when we come up on this game?
Yeah, just to reiterate what you said, really exciting game that we have here. Really an offensive powerhouse, and Trinity taking on a very good defensive team in Kenyon College. So, you know, the age-old question, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, I think that question will be answered today. But yeah, really exciting game. Just to give you an idea for players to watch out for on the Trinity side, number 7, Austin Michaelis, having a heck of a year, 11 goals, 9 assists, 31 points on the season. And then number 11, the junior Brett Mandelkorn, 7 goals and 6 assists, playing as a defender. So interesting setup there from the Trinity side. And then Kenyon, of course, number 1, all the way from Dublin, Ireland, the goalkeeper Sam Clower, having a great year. He was selected to the All-American team. So keep an eye out for him. I think he is the career leader in shutouts for this Kenyon team.
Yeah, he's been historic for the Lords. Not only the 44 shutouts in his career, but 2 years ago in 2014 set the school record for goals allowed average in the season, just under a third of a goal allowed per game in that season, and had 15 shutouts, also a single season record. And his numbers this season have been good too. I mean, he's got barely 2/3 of a goal allowed per game, 44 saves, 10 shutouts, an all-American academic to boot. Did you mention? You might have mentioned that. Yeah. But today, assuming nothing goes wrong, he's going to cross the 8,000 career minutes played mark. Very impressive career.
Good goalkeepers on both sides too. Of course, Todd Whitaker on the Trinity side, the 6'9" goalkeeper. You can see him all the way from over here. He is a imposing physical presence, and he is having a
overtime, including last weekend in the second round against Lynchburg. And Trinity has only played one match against a ranked opponent, and that was Colorado College, who they matched up 3 times. Of course, that's in conference in the SCAC. And one of those matchups, Colorado happened to be up to 19th. They won all 3 matchups against Colorado. In fact, they won 22 out of their 23 matches.
Here to avoid going
from Bellow Field, black with purple and gold accents, moving.
Yeah, setting the tone early, and the referee didn't like it, calls a foul. But I think I like the way both these teams are playing. Again, talking about coming out fast and setting a physical tone early in the game.
Well, quickly on the near side, we've got a battle. That's Brett Lowry combating a smattering of Tiger defenders.
Yeah, going to come in for a goal kick for Whitaker here.
Action-packed first 50 seconds or so. And Trinity will get their first crack at an offensive possession.
Yeah, keep an eye on the Trinity midfielders here. We got 4 back for Kenyon College. Again, they play really well as a cohesive defensive unit. And Trinity, I think, only playing with 2 forwards. So going to need a lot of pressure and running up and down the field from the midfielders today. And you can see that defense again right there.
Yeah, Mandelkorn had it taken away. And now Kenyon's on the offensive. Antonio Molo working it ahead up the field. And Trinity back there. That's Francisco Vasquez who took it away. Now on the far sideline, it's coming up and just a battle for possession. Either side is controlled for more than about 20 seconds consecutively.
Yep. Look for the teams to slow it down here. We'll see if Trinity does that here as they have possession after that foul was called.
And the ball comes through Gordon ahead to Madden. Madden tripped up, and he's going to draw the foul. Didn't quite go out of bounds, so we're going to be looking at a free kick here.
Yeah, I believe that was Reznikov on the Kenyon side called for the foul.
Christian Sakshog, one of the many players from San Antonio, getting it underway. Now in the offensive third for the first time is Trinity. And quickly out of bounds.
But again, we talk about the strange philosophy. We saw number 13, Dalen Gordon, all the way looking to get the cross on that ball. But he plays normally as a defender. You can see him moving all the way back almost to midfield here. So a lot of pressure forward, a lot of offensive pressure from the defense and the midfield.
On the corner kick now, you've got Brett Mandelkorn. Now Trinity has 231 corners on the season. Opponents just 61. Very lopsided numbers in the set pieces. Of course, this one just knocked straight out of bounds for a retry by the Lords. Mandelkorn again. Not a lot of men in the box for the Tigers. And the referee is now ready to get underway. Here's Mandelkorn, serves it up.
And there's a close chance there.
Clower is trying to grab it out of the air. It's just beyond his grasp, and one of the Trinity strikers put it just over the crossbar.
Yeah, but going again, just real quickly back to those corner kick numbers, those are some remarkable numbers, and it is really just a testament to Coach McGinley and how disciplined he keeps his Trinity team.
We'll have some nice words to say about Coach McGinley when the time arises. What a career he's had with the Tigers. Now in their 20th NCAA appearance in 21 years, 15 straight. I mean, that's mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
We've got a
throw-in for Kenyon, it looks like.
Yeah, we apologize. We do have some fans tend to block our view, and maybe we'll be able to get them out of the way. And in the box, we've got some exciting action. A save made by Whitaker off the face.
Yeah, that was a fast sequence there, and just testament to how quick the reflexes of Whitaker are, how quickly he was able to get down to the ground, especially for how tall he is. That was really remarkable.
That'll go out for a corner. Some manic action in both boxes in the first 5 minutes. This corner played short. Off the post and off the side of the net. A beautiful ball came into the Kenyon striker. That was Josh Lee who had a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I love the way how they played the corner kick on the ground to the outside of the box and letting their offense take the kick instead. It's going to be hard to sneak one by again. Whitaker, 6'9", hard to get one through in the box. So good move by Kenyon to play that corner kick outside of the box, take a chance from outside of the box.
Whitaker made the save, but he didn't clean it up, and Kenyon had a prime opportunity to get ahead early.
Yeah, that was Oliver Wynn looking to put it away, but he put it out of bounds instead, and you could see his frustration. He collapsed to his knees after the play concluded.
We've got a possession battle again in the middle third. That's Gordon on the throw-in for Trinity. Section attempted clear by the Lords and tangled on the feet of Lee. And Trinity throw-in, they maintain.
Some action in the front 30. So looking to get him involved in the offensive side of the ball as well.
Off the feet of Michaelis, and Kenyon will have possession once more. Here's Reznikov. Out of bounds. Ruled to be off the head of the Tiger. That was a toss-up for sure. Right here at midfield. And I believe it's offsides. No foul called against Kenyon.
Yeah, a little bit of a disagreement there. Had a couple of words to say to the ref.
So it'll be Sakshog taking the free kick. Two-man wall for Kenyon. It'll be a tough to try a direct kick to the net.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he plays it back for one of these two Trinity defenders. Doesn't look like he's looking at it.
You see about 5 Trinity attackers in the box, but it's Kenyon that gets there first.
Nice clear by Kenyon there.
And really, we could have some drama here as it's rolling back towards the net. It's going to go wide, but Whitaker misplayed it, and a lot of credit goes to number 8. That's Tony Amalo for the Lords, putting the pressure on Whitaker, and usually the goalies don't bend under pressure, certainly not someone like Whitaker. But the Kenyon find themselves in good position.
Yeah, that's called putting your body on the line. Whitaker tries to clear it, but it sends it right into, I believe that was Almora's face. And he almost put it right into the net, but luck did not swing in the Lord's way.
That would have been one of those kinds of plays you see on the not top 10.
Yep, exactly. Would have seen us on Sports Center.
So Dalen Gordon with the throw-in as it's fought for. And down on the ground as play continues as Amolo. Amolo grabbing his knee. And eventually we might get a stoppage play, but for now we play on as Amolo is back on his feet. Physical possession battle here on the near side. Ruano eventually wins it, and it's going to go out of bounds for a Tiger throw.
Yeah, this has been the Tigers' MO so far this game, is try to get these throw-ins on the near sideline and work slowly into the box. And it's been working. They've had some good offensive possessions so far, but nothing to show for it yet.
Into the vicinity of Michaelis, but not a perfect throw out of bounds, and they're going to get another try.
Yeah, most of these throw-ins are going to go Michaelis' way. Best offensive player on this team. So look for every player on this Tigers team to get Michaelis involved early and often.
Play on the sideline stays in bounds to the Lord's back line. And now ahead we've got one Lord with 4 defenders. Looking for a foul.
Yeah, no foul there. I think he was looking for, looked like some of the defenders were tugging on his shirt, and he was appealing to the ref, but no foul was called.
And not really a rhythm for either side in the first 9 minutes. Couple scoring opportunities apiece.
It's another throw-in for the Tigers.
Dalen Gordon getting a lot of work on the right side from the sideline. Here's Chris Madden. And Alberto Carmona for Kenyon had his arm around Madden as the two of them went down. And clean play all around. As Amolo, who had been down earlier, gets a piece of the action. He seems to be all right.
Again, that was a well-played sequence by Kenyon, but just a bad job keeping control of the ball, and they turn it over to Trinity again.
Into the box now. A couple of Lords are there, trying to get across and ahead in the air are the Tigers. And the Kenyon defense manages to clear, and it's going to go out of bounds, but a little bit of a heart stopper for a second there if you're a fan of the Lords. Lords, though, if you're a fan of the Lords, I bet you're in attendance. They've got quite a crew here.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, Kenyon, a good showing from the Northeast, so a lot of local fans probably making the trip up to the game. But a lot of purple in the audience here at Bellow Field.
Ball control for the Tigers. Trying to find the open man. It's going to be escorted out of bounds by Kenyon. An errant pass intended for Mandelkorn. And goal kick. Flower is going to wait for his team to get upfield. Send it relatively short, actually, almost to midfield. And 4 men back for the Tigers. Racing for it, and I think he's not going to get to it. That was Josh Lee. Lee who had the closest thing we had to a goal so far, the best shot on goal. That was in the 4th minute.
But again, just long bombs away for this Kenyon team. They're trying to force it up as much as they can. And again, you mentioned earlier rhythm, and no rhythm for either team so far. Got to do a better job slowing it down and controlling the ball.
Tigers back 3. Possess trying to look for a man upfield. Sent to the far sideline. Met by the head of Oliver Wynn for the Lords. Possession battle on the far, and Wynn falls on top of his opponent. Looks like a foul is going to be called against him for that.
A little bit of a sideline tackle there by Wynn, I think.
Yeah, this is football, not football, after all. Winner of this one's going to go on to face Tufts. This ball sent in through the box into Clower, who fields it expertly. Tufts won in 1-0 over UMass Boston. The earlier match here is a tight one until Tufts scored in about the 68th minute. And UMass Boston threw everything they had at the Jumbos in the final 20 minutes, and the Jumbos stood strong. Jumbos unranked, getting their 3rd straight at-large bid. Hosting this pod simply because of geographic concerns, the lowest ranked team of the 4. But with the other 2 teams, Kenyon in Ohio, Trinity in Texas, NCAA didn't want to have to fly 3 teams, as Whitaker makes the catch on his knees. What didn't look like it was going to be a dangerous play ended up being a little bit dangerous, and his maroon cap that he wears has fallen to the ground as well.
Yeah, a little bit of collateral damage, as it looks like Jordan Glassman went careening over Whitaker in the box, and when Whitaker's going full speed in the box, you better watch out.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of human being.
That ball getting dangerously close to the Jumbocast broadcast booth. Of course, I use the word booth loosely here. And again, another throw-in for the Tigers on the near side. They are definitely winning the throw-in and corner kick battle so far this game.
Getting their money's worth out of Gordon,
yeah.
That's for sure. Here's Vasquez on the far side, getting it across. In the middle, now it's back to Harris.
Yeah, I like what Trinity's doing here, playing it back, slowing it down, sort of a different look than we've seen from them so far this game.
Kenyon wins it away, but it's out of bounds, and they didn't have numbers anyway. Not much was going to come of it.
Nope.
So on the far sideline, Trinity gets back underway. And now Kenyon have it, having won it away. Amolo all alone, getting some help He's battling 2 defenders and puts it into the arms of Whitaker.
Yeah, good job by the Tigers defense to smother Amolo and sort of cut off any option he had. He really had to send it in, but the angle they gave him was right into Whitaker's chest.
Yeah, Kenyon playing solid defense, not really getting numbers forward, but Trinity is not really in rhythm either.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul.
Quickly resumed by the Tigers before anything else can happen. It's called back.
some disagreement from some Kenyon fans behind me about this call.
Kellen Reed tried to get things to go quickly. But a little bit more of a managed pace now. All the way through the back line for a goal kick. And we've seen a lot of disruptive defense, I think, is a lot of what we're looking at now.
Yeah, I mean, from both sides, really. They're doing a good job. We haven't seen a lot of plays inside of the box, not a lot of like long offensive possessions. So, like you said, disruptive defense, I like that term. And that's exactly how both teams are playing right now. As Kenyon has some offensive numbers forward, something we haven't seen very often this game, and there was a chance, but nothing came to fruition there.
Yeah, right in the box, and Woo Jeon was there. I think he was trying to redirect it on goal instead of redirected it away from the goal.
Yeah, and that's going to be offside, spoiling what was probably the best Kenyon College chance since that corner kick that they had earlier in the game.
No sustained pressure. All the offensive opportunities have come in a bit of a fluke fashion, erupting spontaneously and dissipating nearly as quickly.
Yeah, Woo Jeon looking for the goal there. Usually a better assister than goal scorer, though. He has 8 assists on the season, which is one of the top on this Kenyon College team.
So Clower's going to send it long. There's Woo Jeon. Lost the battle with Gordon. And it's back ahead. General Ruano now possessing. A bit of an ineffective knockback to his teammate.
Yeah, not a great look there, but again, it's because of that defense not letting him go forwards and forcing him to look elsewhere. Good ball from Gordon there.
Gordon, this one nearly took out our field camera that's left over from the first game. Some physicality as the bodies of a knock between the Lords and the Tigers.
Nice little pass back to Kellen Reed there.
Flicked ahead. Glassman gets it to Amolo. Amolo, again, doesn't have a lot of help.
Yeah, they trust Amolo up there alone, even against 2 or 3 defenders. 7 goals on the season, 3 assists, 17 points. He is effective, but against this Trinity team, against the Tigers, they're going to have to get him a couple players to help him out in the box there. I mean, he's just been on an island lately this game.
Amolo, the senior from Nigeria, actually a 3rd in school history in both goals and points, 50 and 121 respectively. So might be adding to that total this afternoon. I certainly don't see too many opportunities for other Kenyon players. The foul call goes the way of the Lords. Trinity officially the home team here in the whites at the higher rank.
Going to force it up to Glassman, who is alone in the box against 3 Trinity defenders, so nothing comes from that other than some good field position for the Lords here.
Yeah, skied out of bounds by Guy Harris.
And it looks like it's going to be a shallow throw-in. It was almost a corner kick, but they managed to keep it into a throw-in. So good awareness by the Tigers team there.
And with the throw-in now, the Lords have an opportunity to get numbers. They've got every man across midfield except the goalie, 7 near the box, headed out of the way by one of the Tiger defenders.
Looked like it could have been a chance on that throw-in there. It was a fantastic throw-in, but the Tigers' defense was so calm there.
Woo Jeon sends it in. Not a bad attempt. It was Henry Myers trying to get his head on it. Unable to, and out of bounds for a goal kick.
Yeah, but really impressive composure from Gordon, and I believe it was Harris in the back line there against 2 opportunities for the Lords, and they managed to keep their heads, and there was no sense of panic whatsoever from the defense there.
We're about 20 minutes into the first half here at Bellow Field. No score between the Tigers and the Lords.
Yeah.
Been a possession battle more than anything else.
Took the words right out of my mouth. It's been a lot of action in the midfield here, a lot of back and forth, and not a whole lot of offensive chances in the first 20 minutes of this game. This looks like it's going to be Harris with the kick here, foul kick. All the way from midfield, looking for the far side of the field, which they haven't played a lot on. Usually try to look to keep it near side.
And going down to the ground for the Tigers.
Yeah, it looks like the ref's going to have a couple words with the Kenyon player here.
Lawrence Wyke was the one who went down. Wyke, who didn't even see an appearance in the second round win against Chapman, and that speaks to the way that Trinity head coach Paul McGinley changes up his lineup so much. Now that Kenyon tends to use the bench a bit more. They get more players involved in any given game, but their starting lineup is fairly consistent. You have a good sense of it. Same exact starting lineup as they had against Lynchburg. Trinity doesn't trot out the same starting lineup that often, and McGinley, with his sage ways, trying to push the right buttons to get Trinity through to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, which is relatively uncommon at this level of soccer, as we hear the Kenyon crowd erupting here, showing some life from the Kenyon benches. But yeah, you don't see a lot of switching up lineups. They usually like to keep the same lineups. Except McGinley knows the strengths and weaknesses of every team he plays. Definitely does his homework. Foul's going to be called on the Tigers, so it's going to be the Lords' ball.
Well, this is the first meeting before the Tigers and the Lords since before pretty much all these players were born. I don't know if we have any super seniors, but the last meeting was in 1993.
Yep.
For what it's worth, Kenyon won that one 2-0.
That game being in, I believe, Ohio, as opposed to Massachusetts.
Yeah, neutral site. I have to imagine it was a tournament game, though I don't have all the data on that one.
Yeah, our knowledge of early 1990s D3 soccer is not too extensive.
I would have been watching, but I didn't get born in time. And we've got one Scott into the box. Dangerous one. Whitaker gets his hands on it. That looked like it was going to go beyond the far post.
Yeah, that was Almolo using his head both figuratively and literally, doing a little behind the back no-look header. So interesting play by Almolo, but a good save by Whitaker.
We're going to have a foul against Kenyon. Josh Lee shoved his opponent out of a little bit, and initially with call was advantage, but once Kenyon took over, Trinity got the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you can just see how both teams are just so fired up to play in this game. A lot of physicality, a lot of words with the refs. It's good to see some exciting soccer.
Here's Lee. Now he's the one tripped up.
And quickly played. So I believe that's John.
John puts it into the corner. His man there is Glassman.
Yep, some pressure D from the Tigers here. So the Lords are going to have to try and find some space in the middle of the field.
Josh Lee tries to swing it in, gets to the head, and now Amolo is in the box. He still controls. He's looking for help. He's hounded by defenders and offsides.
Yeah, Almolo can't do it all himself. I mean, how many times have we seen so far this game where he just gets hounded by 2, 3, 4 Tigers defenders and just has to send it out of bounds or take a helpless shot. So Lords have to do a better job of finding space in the box.
Whitaker, the baseball-capped goalie, he knew something we didn't. We had partly cloudy in the forecast, but I've been blinded all morning by the sun. And especially the sun right now squarely positioned over the Kenyon net. So it's going to be pretty tough for Trinity with the sun in their eyes.
Makes our job difficult, too.
Sure does. And as we resume from exactly midfield, Lords have the opportunity to set up their offense the way they like. It's swung in on the near side to Lee. Lee sending it all the way back to Clower. And they'll reset. This time it's going to be Glassman fighting with Gordon. Glassman wins it. Sent to Woo Jeon. Woo Jeon battling with Guy Harris. And Harris escorts it out of bounds for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Tigers wanted there. We've seen them playing that pressure D, and when you want that pressure D, you want to look for those pass backs. This time, John passing it all the way back to goalie Clower, and then they eventually get the goal kick. So that is well executed pressure defense from the Tigers team.
Whitaker skies it to about midfield, and we had a dangerous situation here at midfield. Chris Madden went up for it and took a head from his Kenyon opponent. Not intentional, all clean, but he went down immediately, and he's still holding the back of his head. Trying to walk it off now.
Some confusion on whether it's a foul.
Well, the clock is stopped, which would seem to indicate an injury.
Right.
By NCAA rules, the clock does stop for injuries and when a goal is scored and not any other time. So we're back underway. Madden will play on. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers. Kenyon goal kick. First substitutions now. And we'll see if Madden's going to come out. We've got 3 coming in. They're Bryce Koval. Not a surprise. He leads his team in goals coming off the bench. He's got 8. 3 of them game winners. Also coming on. Oh, Koval, that's a Kenyon. I'm looking at the wrong sheet here. As Madden did go off.
Yeah, Madden taking a closer look at him in the sidelines, but he was walking around under his own power, so nothing too serious. But again, Koval is not off the bench yet, looks like.
Yeah, Kenyon hasn't made any substitutions, so there were 3 for Trinity, which I missed, but we'll say the names as they come up, not to worry. As Kenyon is now penetrating deep, out of bounds for a corner kick.
Yeah,
that one coming off the foot of Wyke.
First couple corner kicks for the Lords were nearly successful, so it'll be interesting to see how Trinity responds. You can see number 25, Sakshuk, back further to watch out for the same play that they did the first time that almost resulted in a goal. So good response by the Trinity team.
We've got 5 Lords up in the box, and the corner kick is going to go all the way out of bounds, untouched on the far sideline.
Yeah, might have gotten a little boost from the wind, blowing into our faces towards the stands, and that ball just carried a lot longer than I think anybody was expecting.
And I've overheard that one of the players is bloody, so we're going to have a brief stoppage. I'm not sure which player, but we're going to have a stoppage while that's looked at. Back underway. Gordon throws it in. Sakshuk is there. And a foul call didn't look fine to me.
Yeah, that was a little push by Josh Lee, but you could see his disappointment. I'd have to agree with Lee on that one. I'm not sure exactly why that foul was called, especially when there's been much more physical plays so far this game. But I'm not one to argue.
Wyke sends it ahead all the way into the box. And falling over each other, the Lords and Tigers. Now trying to gain concession. Gordon was trying to dribble it in. He was hounded by 2 of the back line for the Lords. Force him to send it out of bounds.
Now entering the game for Kenyon are number 23, Philippe Stengel, and number 25.
Here we have the first subs for the Lords. We've got Philippe Stengel, who has 2 game winners in this postseason alone. Most recently against Maryville in the first round, also in the conference championship against Oberlin.
Yeah, Stengel bringing some much-needed height to this Kenyon offense as well. 6 feet tall.
But it's the Tigers on offense now. Well, it's stolen away. Here's Stengel, fresh off the bench. Sent it back now ahead. We've got Woo Jeon and Lee. Lee battling with Gordon. It stays in the Trinity side. Sakshog controlling, and now Wyke will get it to his teammate on the far sideline. Trinity is in the clear for now. Sent back along the far sideline by the Lords. And just possession play. Neither team really having ball control, and it was not a shock at the top of the game, but now we're nearly a half hour in, and neither team is finding a rhythm. That speaks to the defense, of course. Now it's Woo Jeon dribbling, gets around Gordon, met by Harris, and it's going to be a goal kick, last touched by Woo Jeon.
Yeah, nice, actually defensive play by Woo Jeon there. Tigers were looking to get the ball up as far as possible, and Woo Jeon forced them to take the goal kick instead, which the Lords have done a good job defending so far this game.
Fought for in midfield, safely this time by all involved, and Woo Jeon goes down. I think he took an elbow to the jaw, or something to the jaw, and he's on the ground, not feeling too comfortable. We get a stoppage of play for the injury. You can see in the bottom of your screen there. Yeah, not sure exactly what caught him. It certainly wasn't any intentional or contact, incidental.
Looks like he might be holding his hand. Could be that left hand that he's feeling some pain in right now. Looks like he's looking at his hand or his wrist.
Well, you don't need your hands in this sport, really. Not too much anyway.
Looks like he's going to be all right. Ref taking a minute to talk with him and see if he can stay on.
Yeah, again, if there's blood involved, then they sort of don't want that getting everywhere. But it seems like we will continue, and Woo Jeon will stay on.
This midfielder Lee with the kick. It's
Sends
a
it
laser
in.
beam.
Yeah, low line drive right into the hands of Whitaker. Whitaker is run into, and some sign of good sportsmanship. As the opponent helps up. They're helping each other out. On the far sideline, we've got it played into the box again. Sent on goal and just wide, not quite on goal. But Henry Myers trying to sneak one in on the near post, flicking it just wide.
Yeah, great idea by Henry Myers. He had the option to stop and control that, but we've seen the way that these Lords have been treated when they try to control it inside the box. They just get hounded. So Myers trying to just send it directly in, and he had the right idea, but just a little bit too wide.
Foul called, and again, think we might have a very tightly called game. Neither side was calling for a foul.
Yep.
Sakshog is evidently more aggressive than he should have been.
And easy to get upset over that, but I mean, it's been consistently called since the beginning of the game, and consistency is all that you can ask for.
You make a good point, Owen. Out of bounds, last touch by Sakshog. Woo Jeon will get a chance to test out that hand. And we've got a stoppage.
No stoppage. Looks like the ref is going to have a couple words with some of the, that looks like Sakshog on the Trinity side and David Anderson on the Kenyon side.
Anderson, one of the subs who we neglected to mention earlier. Sent in, or not quite sent in, off the body of one of the Tigers. Now it's sent in. Whitaker is trying to track it. And some contact in the box. And want to call their way. No calls made. And Kenyon has probably been in possession more often than not in this half. We don't have stats on that, but at the late going, it seems like the Lords have been in control just a little bit more.
Yep.
And one away.
Fantastic play. Kenyon doing a much better job this sequence of possessing and controlling the ball, and of course, as soon as I say that, they turn it away.
That was Bryce Koval who managed to keep the play alive, who previously misattributed to coming into the game. He's in the game now, the goal scorer for the Lords. Trinity will try and get some momentum going their way. Sent in on the far sideline. Sakshog has it one away. And Kenyon now moving the ball forward.
Chance here for Kenyon. Tigers defense playing a little further off outside the box than they do inside the box.
Koval shoved from behind. Play continues off the feet of Gordon. Otherwise, it would have gotten through to Whitaker. Now Sakshog turns things the other way. Trying to get pace and simply faster was the Kenyon player.
Yeah, Sakshog maybe looking at the ref, looking for a tug on the shirt, but it looked like David Anderson just outran him there. Looked pretty clean from my perspective.
We got substitution now for Kenyon, 2 of them. Into the game, John Penas from Hamilton, New Zealand. I don't know if we've mentioned yet, 8 different countries are represented between the 2 sides. One of them being the U.S., 18 U.S. states as well. Quite a diverse crew. Of course, most of the Trinity crew are from Texas. But the world has converged on Medford this afternoon. With 12 minutes to play in the first half, no score.
Of course, a lot of these Trinity players either went to the same high school or played on the same club team. So chemistry coming into the college team. And seen a lot of hustle from Koval, keeping these balls alive, or at least attempting to keep these balls alive.
But Penas let the ball go through him. I think he thought he had a man on the left flank, which he did not. Turnover for the Tigers. Gordon, who's played every minute of this match so far, throwing it in. Skips through the Tigers. Right now it's back to Gordon at about midfield.
Nice play by Gordon there. But it's going to be sniffed out.
Here's Koval battling one-on-one. Gordon now there, and so is Penas. Off the foot of Penas and out of bounds.
Yeah.
Gordon can't get it through. Oliver Wynn, and now Wynn flies through the air. It seems like he skidded off the ball, but I think a foul is going to be called.
And a card issued. Yellow card issued to number 14,
maybe
Guy
we have
Harris.
a chance to see that again at some point, and not while the action's still going on.
Yeah, it looked like Harris made some contact when the ball was not in direct possession.
I'm not sure my director picked up on the cue there. I was looking for a replay, but he's not acknowledging me. So we'll move on without a replay.
Yeah. Anyways, this is
that's all right.
Number 16, Kevin Dewan with the Dewan, excuse me, with the kick.
Sent right off the hands of Whitaker. That was on goal, curling it in. Wonderful kick. Dewan will have another chance. And Whitaker have an easier time with that one.
Yeah.
Standing about a half a foot above anybody else, can just confidently reach out without any risk.
It's just such an advantage, and we've seen it 3 or 4 times this game, that when he moves forward in the box, it's almost as if the Kenyon players just know that they don't really stand a chance unless they can jump, 2 feet high, in which case they should probably be playing basketball.
Well, Whitaker could be a center on most Division III teams just with his height. Basketball season, of course, got underway yesterday, at least for the Jumbos, but we won't digress. 10 minutes to play in the first half. No score between the Tigers and the Lords. Pretty possession battle all afternoon. Lords having slightly the better of it. Nothing to show for it, however. And Sakshog finds himself in a real battle at about midfield.
Yeah, Sakshog been involved in a lot of those battles today. He's doing a good job moving all around the field.
Now Gordon brings it up on the right side. He's got a man looking for the cross. It's sent back off the foot of the defense for Kenyon.
That was Michaelis, whose number we haven't called a lot today, but Michaelis trying to weave his way through some of these Kenyon defenders. Not an easy task. If the Tigers want to get past the Lords, they're going to have to do it by virtue of passing rather than individual movements.
That'll be a corner kick set up for the Tigers. And ball was sent off the hand of Reznikov. Probably not the hand that would have been called, but off the body anyway.
This is Vasquez taking the corner kick.
Keeps
it on the ground.
And cleared by Koval.
I like the choice of keeping it on the ground, actually. There's been a lot of physical play in the air, has led to a couple of injuries, but it's no guarantee that you're going to win those battles in the air, so good job keeping it on the ground there.
Sakshog now sending it into the box. And a head by the Kenyon Lords clears it partially. And now Penas is there to clear it fully, and he's got Koval ahead if he can find him. Can't snake it through. Turned around by Wyke for the Tigers.
Yeah, Penas appearing out of thin air, it looked like, to control that ball.
I thought for sure the Tigers were going to be able to maintain possession. There's Wyke. Putting his body on the line.
Yeah, that one's going to fly into the neighbor's driveway there.
This is a residential area. Anderson took one for the team. And Anderson again having recovered. And sends it wide. He had an eye on Oliver Wynn. Sent it right by him.
I'm actually going to take this minute to correct myself. I said Vasquez was taking the corner kick for the Tigers' previous corner kick. It was actually Todd Edwards, so my apologies.
And back and forth with possession in the middle third of the field. We're going to have substitutions. One substitution.
Entering the game for Kenyon is number 18, Greg McNear.
So McNear for Kenyon comes on. Didn't catch who he'll replace, but he's come on for defense in every single game. Hasn't started, but he's appeared in every single game. The sophomore from Winston-Salem in North Carolina. And this a move you'd sort of expect as we come down in the final 7 minutes of the half. It's largely been a defensive battle. Shot on goal from about 30 yards out. Easily handled by Whitaker. But all the shots count. That was McNear, if I'm not mistaken, fresh off the bench.
Yeah,
giving it a shot.
Yeah, why not? You know, I've had trouble getting shots any other way, so if you see it, take it.
Gordon saving our Jumbocast camera from sure demolition, but not saving the ball from going out of bounds.
Yeah, this camera's had an exciting 30 minutes.
Reznikov throws it in. Koval across Penas, and Penas gets a foot in the chest.
Yep.
I thought advantage would be called. Looked like Kenyon was going to maintain possession.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I'm a little surprised they didn't call advantage as well, but I'm sure the Kenyon Lords will take the possession anyways.
Here's McNear with almost the entire Kenyon side up ahead of him. Sent on the right side of the net. Some players are already down before the ball even arrived. And it's fought for on the far sideline. Weaving his way through some defenders, getting it into the center. And Kenyon gets it to go.
That's a goal.
A lot of chaos. It was pinballing around in the box. We might need a replay or an official announcement to see exactly who got the goal.
And it was McNear sending it in with a little bit of an awkward spin, and I'm wondering if it maybe deflected off of one of the Tigers. Here comes McNear, left foot, awkward spin, and it's just going to ricochet right into the back of the goal.
We'll have to wait for the announcement on that one. We couldn't tell. But Kenyon on the board for first in the 40th minute. Tigers were going to have to battle from behind.
How about McNear coming off the bench and making his impact known immediately? He had that good shot on goal, and I said, you know, if you see him, take him, and then a good left foot
and in the box again. McNear's there. That time foiled by Gordon was on him.
You can see this. You can see the Lords just rejuvenated by that goal. Every player running at about twice as fast as they were previously, or at least that's what it looks like.
Well, we said it. You know, the Lords make use of their bench in game a lot more than Trinity does. And Trinity, I'm sure they do funny things with the starting lineup, but we've seen about 5 or 6 subs come in from Kenyon. Most of the offense for Kenyon did not start the game. They're the ones that got it to go, and Gordon takes one off the face. He's going to need a moment.
Yeah, that was right in front of us, and we could hear it. McNear patting him on the back. Nothing malicious there, but certainly painful.
Now, my brother took a ball off the face in high school play, and he actually was sidelined with a concussion for some time after that. So this makes me nervous when you see something like that. Gordon seems fine.
I played some JV soccer in my day. Chipped a tooth once from that very same sequence of events.
And good sportsmanship. Gordon will just send it back to Kenyon. And Trinity has an opportunity now. Man on the far side. Lords are back to defend, but it's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, good move getting that corner kick. Of course, Trinity hasn't spent a lot of time up in the front third. Excuse me, looks like it's going to be called a goal kick, actually. My apologies, goal kick.
Well, Trinity will need a spark. They've got about 3.5 minutes now to even it in the first half, and if they're not successful, they're going to have an interesting halftime talk.
And Sackshot getting a little knee to the head there, and no kind words were exchanged there. Tension's running high.
You know, I will say I'm starting to appreciate how tightly called this game is, because I mean, this game has been by and large cleanly played. Not a lot of chippiness, and I think the way that it's being refereed is helping it stay that way.
I agree completely. Here's a chance in the box, but it's sniffed out by the Lords, but kept alive by Gordon, and that ball's going to come in, and it's saved.
Shot on goal. If he had a little more pace on that or was a little bit trickier with the location, that could have been a great opportunity. Instead, sent straight in on Clower. And now back the other way are the Lords. Here's Kovar. Offsides, but would have been the call. Instead, it's allowed to go along for a goal kick.
Yeah, it would have been the right idea, but offsides. Offsides hasn't been a huge problem so far today between these two teams. Yeah, that's going to be a foul. Some disappointment from the Tiger side. You can see a couple players with their hands in the air. Maybe a little bit of a hard foul from Bryce Koval.
It was Hunter, by the way, that had the opportunity in the box previously for the Tigers. Hunter has 9 goals in the season, 3 of them game winners. Out of New Mexico, not quite a Texan, but close enough. At least, as far as some of us Northerners are concerned, it's all sort of the same.
Yeah.
With
all sort of blends in.
We have Wake. Unsuccessful clear, and Kenyon is back in business. Kenyon definitely looking the more confident having scored the goal, and with the fresh legs, certainly better in ball possession as well. Here's Wake winning it away. This time he'll get another chance to clear. Safely gets it to a teammate this time. Nearly a 3-on-2 break for the Tigers as we enter the final minute of the first half.
Yeah, Lords are going to be putting more players back here.
Remaining in the first half.
You hear the announcer. 1 minute remaining.
You know, I don't think we ever got an announcement on the goal, however. We might have to get back to you with that one.
Get some clarification on that.
A little bit later. In the last 40 seconds, the Tigers try and make something happen. It's Gordon on the near side. And he's tripped up. That'll be a foul.
Yeah, Gordon taking a beating so far this game. Of course, taking the ball off the face, and again, we heard that one right there. That didn't sound too nice either.
Kenyon definitely the beneficiaries of the call. As the foul call took half the time remaining. 19 seconds for Trinity to make something. Sakshog sends it in on goal, and Clowers there. Not particularly difficult for him. Good opportunity for the Tigers, but nothing too tricky.
Yeah, nothing too threatening. It was a good ball by Sakshog, but nothing was coming out of that.
And so it's skied out of bounds, and that's how the first half is going to come to a close. There's a goal in the 40th minute from Kenyon to put them up 1-0. That's where we're at halftime. Owen, what have you seen overall from the first half?
Well, I mean, we repeated this a couple times, but you mentioned one word that I really just want to emphasize, and that word is rhythm. We saw from the Lords earlier in the game, it was a lot of forcing the ball upfield, 20, 30 yards in the air as hard as they can, and hoping that, Almolo, could make something happen in the box, and really just nothing was coming, and it was a little bit more of the same on the Trinity side. Try to get a couple free throws and maybe get it to Michaelis. No team really found a rhythm or an identity until later in the game where, McNear came on and sort of slowed it down a little bit for the Lords, and the goal came out of it. So, again, it's been a lot of, battles in the midfield. Neither team has been able to possess the ball for a long offensive possession.
We do have word on the goal. The goal was officially scored by Billy O'Neill, assisted by Gabe Freund. Two players who we haven't even mentioned because didn't notice they'd come on. Our apologies there. Freund, his first point of the season, his first assist, has no goals. The senior, if this is the game winner that sends Kenyon to the Elite Eight, what a time for him. Billy O'Neill, that was his second goal on the season as well. The junior out of Wisconsin. So
yeah. Two defenders too.
So that's the way that the second half is the first half is going to wrap up. Second half will be underway in a dozen minutes or so. Trinity, number 3 Trinity trailing the Kenyon Lords. They're going to be looking for a comeback.
And Bernie, I know you mentioned wanting to say a couple words on Coach McGinley on the Tiger side.
Sure.
Maybe inform those.
Now's a good time, as good as any. I mean, basically just some of the impressive numbers. We mentioned this is their 15th consecutive NCAA Tournament appearance for the Tigers, the longest active streak. They won the championship in 2003. Out of the 20 appearances, this one included, so far that's the only national championship they've gotten. They came as close as can be in 2007, lost on penalty kicks to Middlebury. That's an SCAC foe we're fairly familiar with over here. Last year lost in the Elite Eight to Wheaton, always a force in the national D3 scene in men's soccer. But McGinley has the 5th best winning percentage in the NCAA of all time. That's across all divisions. Mm-hmm. He's got an 839 win percentage, second in D3. And, well, the fact of the matter is if he's going to improve that today, it's going to take some impressive coaching.
And the number that really popped out to me in my personal research of Coach McGinley was there is an association called the NSCAA, the National Soccer Coaches Association of America, and he has been the NSCAA Coach of the Year 9 times. 9 times.
That's a national award?
Yeah.
Wow.
So really remarkable. The school out of Texas. I don't think any of us were really familiar with Trinity San Antonio.
Well, I mean that's simply because of our location. I
mean,
Trinity's well known, and not just in men's soccer. They're also conference champs in volleyball and women's soccer. In the SCAC.
The SCAC.
But anyway, that I think will about do it for the first half. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with the second half, and. Yeah, Kenyon leads 1-0.
All right, stay tuned, folks.
But you didn't even
Welcome back to Bellow Field. I'm Bernie Birnbaum with Owen Finnegan. After our first half, which saw Kenyon score late in the 40th minute, we're here, ready for the second half to get underway. The Trinity Tigers, we're going to need to score at least 2 to continue their run.
And that won't be easy. I mean, we've seen, not that they looked bad in the first half by any means, but certainly not a lot of offensive opportunities for the Tigers. So look for them to switch up their philosophy, get a couple more players up front, because certainly did not have the pressure that they will need, at least in the first half.
And yeah, I do want to give an update, which first I have to have. Well, we're going to get back underway here. We have the whistle, and the clock is counting down. Trinity Tigers, I've been here before. They needed to come from behind in their conference championship, which they eventually won 2-1 over Colorado College. That was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, both teams here winning their respective conferences. We can see number 11 on Kenyon, Oliver Wynn, with a bandage on his nose. So the unidentified blood that we had in the first half, I think we can correctly attribute to Oliver Wynn now.
Yeah, the nose will get you.
Here's a throw-in for the Tigers, or excuse me, a free kick for the Tigers. He's going to play it back. This Guy Harris taking it up, and again, we can see these defenders playing a little bit closer than they were in the first half, leaving plenty of space for number 24, Jordan Glassman, to take it all the way up to the box, but he's going to be outrun. Maybe not. And that's a foul called. Foul called. More fouls called early here in the second half. Serious issue in the first half for both teams.
Well, that one, I think, not too much to argue with there.
Oh, no, certainly not. Certainly not. I mean, it was a good opportunity for Glassman, but looks like he might have just got him tangled up a little too much. Again, nothing malicious from either team here. Just several fouls called. This is going to play the Lord's way. Glassman takes it up and, almost sneaks it by. And that's going to put it away. Yeah, that was number 7. That was Woo Jeon having good looks all game, and it finally pays off. That is a goal early in the second minute of the second half.
Well, the ball just came off of Whitaker, as you saw, and Woo Jeon cleaned it up. Whitaker had the first save, but it was off the back of his thigh. Maybe we get even another look. And so Kenyon is up 2-0 now in the 47th minute. Here you see comes off maybe it's even the foot of Whitaker and empty net, and Woo Jeon does not falter, straight in on goal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like from that goal too. That was good communication between Jeon and Glassman. Glassman was looking like he was hustling to get the ricochet off of the goalie, but Jeon called him off. Glassman respected that, and then Jeon put it away. So good communication between the two teammates there, and fantastic play by Glassman, getting 2 balls into the box early in just 2 minutes in the second half.
So the task will be monumental now for the Tigers, who have struggled to control on the offensive end. They're going to now need 2 just to send this one to overtime. Of course, plenty of time to do it. That, the only silver lining, really, when a goal is scored early is that you've got plenty of time to recover.
And we see more action up on the Tiger side of the field as the Lords continue to control it in the offensive zone.
The update I wanted to get you, I now have, is on the other team that wears purple and white, that at least used to be called the Lords. That would be Amherst, formerly known as the Lord Jeffs. At one point, the top-ranked team in the country, they fell actually to Brandeis in penalties. So Brandeis will move on. That's the other Massachusetts matchup after we had Tufts and UMass Boston earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's big news from around the bracket. Calvin moved on last night as well.
Brandeis has good men's and women's programs, actually.
One of the top programs across the board in D3. But the reigning national champions have fallen, so we're going to have a new champion. Back to matters at hand.
There's some frustration from the Tigers team, specifically Mandelkorn. Can't be too happy with the way the second half has started.
And Clower, who boots it forward, has been relatively untested. He's on track for his 11th shutout of the season. Now Amolo goes down, and not for the first time in this one, helped up by his teammates.
Yeah, there's been, physical play. There's been a couple injury scares on both sides. Nothing too serious so far, but definitely some things to be worried about. Again, yeah, Clower working his 11th shutout of the season, but I think it speaks more to how well this defense is played. Not to take anything away from Clower, he's made a handful of good saves, but like you said, relatively untested as this ball comes in, but it's handled by Whitaker.
Yeah, off the foot of Udy. Udy a Texan, but not on the Texan side. That's fought for, and clear foul.
Yep.
Reznikov holds on to Michaelis. I think that's really the first instance where we've had a foul that was egregious like that. We did have a yellow card earlier, and we have another one now.
Yep.
That's the 5th yellow card of the season for Reznikov.
Despite the foul, a good play by Michaelis to control that ball and get it into space and forcing that foul. Michaelis, one of the star players on this team, haven't got the opportunity to say his name very much so far this game.
What I don't like about the call, the fact that Reznikov committed that foul, is it wasn't particularly necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had men back with him. As this one comes in, headed over the crossbar, good opportunity for the Tigers. That was off the head of one of the Tigers. I didn't catch who it was. Let go out of bounds by the Lords.
Yeah, just another example of the good communication between the Lords team. We could hear up in our booth communication to...
not too far up in our booth.
Yeah, we're not that far away, but we could hear the communication to UD by some other players on the Lords team.
Trinity on the attack. This is how they're going to need to be focused for the remaining 40 minutes. On the far side now, it's Gordon. It's broken up by some of the Kenyon back line. It's making life miserable.
And that one's going to end up in the neighbor's yard as well.
Got so used to Gordon here on the near sideline. I felt like we were becoming buds.
I know.
He's over there now.
I miss him.
He really took a beating in the first half, as you mentioned.
He's one tough kid. I mean, and he's been playing great. I mean, he really kind of the primary ball controller for the Tigers so far this game. And as a defenseman, that's really unusual. But he's been playing great.
And it just tells you not to necessarily believe what you see on the program in terms of the positions.
Yep.
Trinity only lists 4 forwards, and only 2 that really get significant action, or starting action anyway.
This ball is going to fall harmlessly to Whitaker.
Lawrence Wyke looking for a man upfield. He's got one.
Yeah, and you can see Kenyon dropping 4D and 2 midfielders back. So playing with almost 6 people back in his zone.
Mandelkorn will throw it in. Arranging his offense, and here it is. Now dribbling into the box. Sakshog and poked away with the foot. It's going to be a corner kick taken by Sakshog. But if Sakshog had gotten around him, that's half the deficit gone.
Interesting.
Swung in here now.
Get on that later after this sequence here. It looks like this ball is going to roll away, but you can see the Tigers incorporating short passes there, something they haven't done all game, but almost led to a goal.
Amolo on the break sends it into Whitaker as nicely as a teammate might.
But again, we've just seen a lot of long passes to an isolated player in the box with the hope that something can happen. and I really like the way that they kept the corner in short and moved short passes between Sakshaw and Michaelis there. No goal to show for it, but it was a good sequence by the Tigers.
One of the most promising since the early moments of the first half. Gordon working both ends of the field, sends it back to Whitaker. And it's misplayed, and that's going to be an easy goal for Woo Jeon. Whitaker trying to clear. Sent it instead straight to the foot of Woo Jeon. There's nobody back, and that's going to be 3-0, and things are looking promising for the Lords after that mistake.
Yeah, Woo Jeon, his second of the game. It's going to fall right into his lap, and his third really good chance of the game as well, but a very uncharacteristic error from a player as good as Whitaker.
I know you folks at home. Here is the replay again. There's nobody in the vicinity except for Woo Jeon. I'm not sure exactly what just happened, except for Whitaker had a brain fart. I'm not sure if I can say that on air.
Mental lapse.
We'll check back in later with the FCC, but a mental lapse, and Trinity is watching the season crumble before their eyes. Still plenty of time. That goal coming now in about the 52nd minute, 53rd. I don't know how good my math is. We have the scoreboard counts down here.
We're not math guys.
But Trinity has been uninspiring on offense, and now with a huge mountain to climb.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a strange game. Honestly, the first goal is strange. The third goal is fairly strange as well. And sometimes it's just how these games play out. I mean, Kenyon has just been getting progressively better, I feel, as the game moves on.
Well, it's easy to play with that kind of confidence with a 3-0 lead.
Absolutely. But certainly not conceding any time of possession to the Tigers. They still are winning the possession battle.
Harris plucks it out of the air. Now Sakshog's there in the box. It's sent out of bounds on the back line by Kenyon. The Tigers average 3 goals per game. Only give up half a goal per game. And well, the script has been flipped. 3 goals for the Lords. And well, if you go with half as a coin flip, they're on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
Now it's in the box, headed in, handled by Clower.
Yeah, nothing
some more good action for the Tigers. Again, they've had 3 or 4 chances where something a little more tricky might have gotten by the senior Irish goalkeeper.
Yeah, but again, you see those chances are coming because of the small ball that the Tigers is playing, and it's a good way to work around the I mentioned earlier the way they're going to work around this Kenyon defense is with passes and good job with the short passing. But again, nothing to show for it, and they're going to need a goal soon if they want any chance to even stay in this game.
It's true. Kenyon can start to move men back and really park the bus, if you will,
yep.
As the clock ticks down. Here it is, sent into the box again. Just missed the head of Guy Harris. And that might have been another opportunity squandered.
Yeah, another missed chance for the Tigers team. It's exactly what you don't need this late in the game.
And
no foul call there.
Amolo, if he had gotten by Wyke, would have been just had Whitaker between him and the goal. And Kenyon breaks up another sequence. Sent all the way down to Whitaker. And there's a lot of time on the clock, but with such a healthy lead, Kenyon can't afford to play this brand of grind it out, send it back down, and reset type of soccer.
Of course, Whitaker losing that maroon cap that we spent a minute on talking about in the first half.
And not sure if our mic picked that up. Alberto Carmona was furious about that out-of-bounds call.
Yeah, Yudi wasn't too happy about it either.
Now sent into the box, skied well over the crossbar. Zach True coming in off the bench. Just trying to make something happen. I mean, you do miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but if those are the shots you're taking, you're not going to make too many of those either.
Yeah, true. 1 goal, 5 assists, 7 points on the season. 5 goals is tied for third on this Trinity team.
Here's Woo Jeon. A nifty back and forth between him and Amolo.
Little triangle passing. You do that in warm-ups.
That's sent to the far side. Lee's there. Lee working into the box, trying to extend the lead one more. Through the box, and it's the defense. Wasn't but Guy Harris was, and he's the only reason that it is not 4-0 right now. Marvelous opportunity for the Lords.
Yeah, that was a great dummy by Glassman, just letting it go and totally fooling Whitaker. I believe it was Glassman.
And you're seeing Kenyon with no quit. I mean, as long they are more concerned with controlling the ball than they would have been had they been on the other side of the margin, as a foul is calling against Kenyon. And
I'm not 100% sure what that foul was, and it looks like the Kenyon crowd wasn't quite sure what the foul was either. Nevertheless, this ball is going to be worked up into the Kenyon side of the field.
But I've been, especially at this stage in the game, impressed by Kenyon's aggressiveness. One might tend to trend towards the conservative. Kenyon is unafraid. We have substitutions now for the Lords. Koval coming back in.
And Glassman and Amolo coming off, it looks like.
And Philippe Stengel as well. That's a pretty common occurrence for them to come in on the back end of games for the Lords. They've appeared in every single one.
Yeah, and maybe not a bad job getting Amolo back on the bench. He was taking a couple of hard fouls and was taking a little bit of a beating in this game. So good to get him some rest.
Now those are primarily offensive replacements, so it's interesting that that's the strategy that Kenyon's going to continue with for the last 31 minutes or so.
Yeah, ball just got turned over, but you see Kenyon with these offensive looks this late in the game, up 3-0, is really just not something you see very often.
Here's Kenyon still on the offensive side of the field, shoved aside by Wyke, and that is a foul. And
and he's not too happy about it. We'll see. Surprised the card wasn't issued there. That was number 5, Lawrence Wyke, who's been playing well all game, really getting up in the ref's face. Both of the ref's faces, the line judge and the field ref. But I'm not sure what he's too upset about, because that was, I feel like, one of the easiest calls that the refs have made all game. Definite shove on Udi.
And I think that, when you have a team down like this, they are going to have to make a few more desperation plays. Udi's going to take the free kick. Every single Tiger is back in the box or just outside of it. In the case of Mandocorn, he's guarding against the short kick. Most of the Lords are up as well.
The Lords taking their sweet time here.
Well, the clock had been stopped, so it's not going to be a factor there. Here's Udi, swings it into the box. No one's home. Cleared by Sackshot. Only as far as midfield. And now an opportunity.
A couple mic issues on our side, but we're all set. Good feed to Sackshot there.
Yeah, but just with the fresher legs, you see Kenyon now getting to these balls very quickly.
Yeah, we'll see a foul. Yeah, they're going to call it a foul, and I would agree with that assessment.
Clock stopped again. I mean, it's uncommon for the clock to stop so often in NCAA action. It's entirely uncommon for it to stop in professional action.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, no stoppage time. Excuse me, no stoppage time, no added time here in D3.
But again, not sure why the clock was stopped just for a foul. Sackstrog sends it in.
And he'll get another chance.
Yeah, comes back to him. He's got a teammate now in the box, off the foot, and that'll go for a corner. off the foot of a Lord. End of that sentence.
Yeah, Trinity can't take these set pieces for granted. These are going to be the best opportunities they get in this game to at least put some numbers on the board.
And we've got a substitution for Kenyon, but the more interesting one is that Whitaker has come out of goal. He's been replaced by number 44. That's Chris Moorish. Moorish, who's appeared in 7 games, allowed just 1 goal in those appearances. But Whitaker getting the early hook.
Yeah, freshman in goal.
And he's going to be tested soon as Koval races up the field untouched. This is 1-on-1, and Moorish is up to the task. Seconds after coming into the game, it was just him between the ball and the goal.
Yep, nice physical play on Koval. No foul was called. The refs have been a little hesitant on fouls in the box today. But good play. I mean, not the easiest thing in the world to come right off the bench and be tested in about 10 seconds.
That was a hockey breakaway.
Yeah.
Here's Udi now swinging it into the box for the Lords. On the far side, there's a head on it. Still threatening. Kenyon. Manocorn sends it up, but not away.
John is there.
Woo Jeon sends it out of bounds. Now for Trinity, Kellen Reed gets it to the near sideline here. Harris worked it up to Manocorn. Now it'll be Kenyon taking it away, an errant pass, and Udi with a couple guys ahead of him.
Sort of a failed backheel pass right into Koval, and then a failed pass by Koval right into Sackshog.
Some sloppy turnovers at midfield, sort of the even possession style game that we saw for much of the first half. The difference being that most of the first half it was a scoreless draw where both teams could sort of afford to do that. Trinity cannot afford to do that at this point, and they're moving it up the right sideline.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. We've said the term possession battle so many times this game. It's remarkable to see a possession battle like this game be 3-0, you know.
Another rash of substitutions, 2 on, 2 off for both sides. Somewhat difficult to catch everybody, but for Trinity, coming on, Brady Johnston,
Todd Edwards,
and yes, Todd Edwards, and I'll devoted all my attention to the Trinity players, so we'll get the Kenyon players for you as their names are called. On the throw-in, it's contested by the Lords, out of bounds. Last touch, Trinity.
Yeah, no Lords player is really too far up, too threatening. So it's sort of shifting into that more conservative look. And you'll see as they turn it over to the Tigers, they have most of their numbers back almost immediately.
Well, they hadn't, you know, now Kenyon's moving it up the field. And Udi's just trying to beat out the fresh legs of Edwards. He does. And Edwards has last touched it out of bounds. And we're staring right into the sun right here.
I have my spotting sheet up to block the sunlight, but pretty remarkable that Udi was able to outrun Edwards. Edwards did get some playing time in the first half, but just came on in the second half at a good lengthy rest. Udi hasn't been on the bench a lot, so props to Udi's athleticism there.
And it's punched out of the way by Moorish. Still alive for the Lords. Now on the near side of the box, Moorish will grab it.
A 7-inch difference between Moorish and Whitaker, which is quite remarkable.
Well, might have been some mental issues for Whitaker. You can't feel too good after giving up 3 goals, including one that's basically a mistake that he was responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
So the 7 inches a physical head maybe exchanged for a fresh head. Now Koval.
Some nice tic-tac passing between Koval there and that's number 23, Stengel, excuse me.
Yudi has been a lot more aggressive. We've been calling his name a lot more in this second half. On the far sideline, it's the Tigers. Again, not able to string passes together or have a strong possession. It's going to be a corner kick, though, last touch by the Lords.
Yeah, another corner kick for the Tigers. They've gotten a handful this half so far. It's going to be Edwards taking it.
Tigers with all the men up, swung into the box, comes to the far side. Allures there, gets a foot on it on the ground, trying to clear. Only as far as Wyke. Wyke will try and keep things alive for the Tigers. Here's Edwards on the far side. Sackshog's there. It's stolen away by the Lords, and now Stengel's going to move it up. Stengel now with numbers. It's going to be about a 3-on-3.
Yeah, not a great job by the Lords spreading out there. They would have had a lot more space if they spread themselves out, but there's 3 Lords there clumped together. So that nothing to show for that offensive possession right there.
Offense probably not the priority right now for the
Certainly
Lords.
not.
And anyway, we've got some substitutions. Michaelis for Trinity coming off. He's being replaced by Donovan Smith in the first year.
And then Billy O'Neill is coming on for Dalton Udy for the Lords.
It's probably going to be good for the Lords to get some fresh legs.
Of course, if the result holds, Kenyon will be playing Tufts tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
That's correct. We'll have that here for you on Jumbocast. Our esteemed longtime play-by-play man, Matt Mazey-Phelps, will have the call. It's his last call of soccer. He's a senior. He'll be alongside my younger brother. His name's Freddie. You'll be in for a treat there, all you fans.
So the Kenyon fans from home will be getting a double dose of Burn Bomb today and tomorrow.
Well, we don't want to make any assumptions now. There's 23 minutes to play. It only takes a split second for a goal to be scored. Well, maybe a little more than that, but plenty of time left.
Yep.
Here's Gordon throwing it in.
Kenyon players and the Kenyon bench remaining high energy through this game. We can hear some raucous calls from the Kenyon bench.
It's brought up by Harris. Right in front of our position. Yeah, it's lost. Harris racing back to try and stop Koval. Looks like he'll get there. Koval's forced to pull up.
Yep.
Sent out of bounds. Roland Koval was the last to touch it.
Koval pulling back and slowing down, something he hasn't done much this whole game.
And Edwards in a battle. And that actually
hit the camera, which is why we sort of paused there.
It didn't take anything out. It actually went between the tripod legs.
And we just saw there was a yellow card being issued to Billy O'Neill. There was some off-ball action between Billy O'Neill and I believe Guy Harris. And so the second yellow card of the game.
We were third, I believe. But yeah, unfortunately we were more focused on our equipment.
Yeah, there was some pushing and shoving, and I think it was Harris or one of the Trinity Tigers ended up on the ground, and O'Neill was responsible for it.
More opportunities for the Tigers. That one skied out of bounds off the Lord's back line. True had it on the far sideline with a good opportunity. So another corner kick. Sackshog sends it deep. Far post. Comes into the defense. I'm not sure if Clower had a piece of it, if it was the defense, but it continues to bounce around.
Could be kept alive by Edwards.
Yeah, Trinity maintains possession. Gordon, the last man, moves ahead. From the near flank, it's Edwards. Edwards sends it in. Headed in, now trying to turn on and right into the arms of Clower.
That was Kellen Reed with some great body control off the chest and just hitting it off the volley. But right into Clower, unfortunately, for the Tigers.
And Clower's been there every time he's been needed. There have been 4 or 5 solid attempts on goal by Trinity, and Clower's been up to the task. Score stays 3-0 with about 20 left to play.
And that was a good job by Trinity. Kenyon leaving space in the middle because I guess they think their defense can collapse quicker than the Trinity offense can sort of gain themselves. But good job by Trinity finding space in the middle of the field there.
That's Hunter on the far sideline. Gets it back to Sakshog. He was in a battle with Reznikov. Some substitutions now. 2 of them for Kenyon, 1 of them for Trinity. Michaelis back in for Trinity.
Number 13, Will Bennett. And
Will Bennett for the Lords.
now entering the game for Trinity
Oh, wait.
is number 7, Austin Michaelis.
Michaelis coming back on for Trinity.
And McNear also on for the Lords. It's slightly more defensive-minded, especially with the addition of McNear. And you'd expect that. Temperature starting to drop a little bit. I brought layers. I might have to put my coat back on. I've already rolled up my sleeves.
Yep.
Rolled down my sleeves, rather.
I'm sure the folks back in Texas maybe get a little more sunlight, a little more warmth than we do up here in Medford. But the sun sets almost depressingly early. Usually gets dark around 4:30 nowadays.
Well, I was in touch with some of the coaches. Actually, didn't get a lot of information from either Paul McGinley or Chris Brown, who's the coach of Kenyon. But when I asked the UMass Boston coach about the regional being here in his backyard instead of in Texas or in Ohio, he said, well, they were hoping for some nicer temperatures, getting to go down south, but another good ball by Trinity, poked up and over the crossbar by Clower. I mean, these are good opportunities. They just don't really seem that threatening. It's hard to describe, really. Another corner comes in. It's not that Trinity isn't getting the ball in good positions to the net. They really have in the past 10 minutes. It's just that the Kenyon defense has constantly been there, and Clower, as the last line of defense, has been rock solid.
Yeah, and not to put the onus on Todd Whitaker, because of course this is a team sport, but you could sort of tell after that one mistake and that led to the John goal, the team sort of deflated a little bit, and it's been tough to get it back to that energy that they had at the beginning of the game, and I think that's been evident, especially in these offensive possessions in the box.
And Clower from way ahead sends it into the opposing third. And fought for by Hunter. Out of bounds off Hunter, and Kenyon's on the offense.
Yeah, it looks like they're keeping four players actually, pretty far back. So definitely looking at that defensive mindset. It's going to fall harmlessly into Morris's hands.
It's going to need to be about a goal every 5 minutes now for Trinity as we get down to near the 15-minute mark.
Yep. Not an impossible feat, but a Herculean one for sure.
The Lords give up less than a goal per game to their opponents. And, with Clower and net, historic goalie for Kenyon, perhaps the best that has ever graced the field in Gambier, Ohio. It's looking good for the Lords. A rematch with the Jumbos awaits if they can play out the next 16 minutes.
Of course, Kenyon beating the Jumbos in their last matchup, I believe.
Yeah, last year in the Sweet 16, those of us here in Medford were pretty disappointed. Jumbos actually having won the national championship back in 2014 as an at-large bid. Got another at-large bid last year, looked to repeat the magic, and were stopped short by the Lords.
And that was some very good defense by number 25, Billy O'Neill there.
Sent through the box, Clower's there, can't handle it. And maybe the best yet. First real mistake we've seen from Clower.
Yeah, not sure if it was a mental lapse or if it was just an awkward way that the ball came in, but it sort of just bounced off his chest. He wasn't able to get his hands on it. But
well, Johnston did definitely get a foot on it off the rebound that Clower allowed. And I think that there might have been Brett Lowry that for Kenyon that turned it away.
Yeah.
We're starting to get the partly cloudiness that was forecasted. A foul called on the near side.
Yeah, that was O'Neill again getting tagged for the foul. He's had a couple of those mistakes in the second half so far.
Tightly called game throughout. In the second half, a little bit more aggression. Edwards now ball handling.
Good job by Edwards to get it past O'Neill. He's had trouble dealing with him.
Kenyon's just always with the numbers in the box, and now they're going to press ahead. There's one man to beat.
And here's Bennett, and he's going to get the corner kick.
Bennett looked like he might have cleared Kellen Reed. Reed got in good position. Bennett put it off Reed and out for a corner kick. More substitutions now for Kenyon. Into the game, Gabe Freund, who had the assist on the O'Neill goal earlier. Here's the corner. Swung in. Whistle called before it came down.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be a foul in the box, maybe some shirt tugging that we didn't see.
And another mistake. And it can't be converted, but the goalies are just giving it away to the Lords. In this case, it was right there for Gabe Freund, who could have picked up his first goal to go with his first assist if he had the presence of mind to put the ball in net.
We have a player down here.
Yeah, on the far sideline, it looks like that's our pal, Dalen Gordon. He's getting back to his feet, but he's had a rough one, and now it seems like it's finally got to him. He's hopping off using just his left leg, not putting any weight on the right.
Some applause from both sides here. Dalen Gordon has been one of the most fun players to watch so far in this game. Just his hustle and his toughness has really been impressive.
Entering the game for Trinity is number 4, Zach True.
So Zach True will replace Gordon. Ball sent across on the near side. Trying to work it up the left sideline. Here's Edwards. Gets it through 2 Kenyon defenders.
And then there's Michaelis, who came on just a handful of minutes ago.
Edwards into the corner. That's where Kenyon might want it to be. Now sent to the far side of the box. Out of bounds for a corner.
Yeah, that ball carrying, I think, a little more than Harris wanted it to, but they do get the corner, so no harm done.
Short corner.
Sackshaw is going to play it into the box, but it's controlled by the Kenyon defense. Sackshaw is going to get another look here, and that's going to be another corner kick, I believe, if I saw that correctly, and I did.
And the Lords are going to be content with this. They've got 12 more minutes to kill. A 3-goal cushion and so many bodies in the box that even a well-placed shot is going to struggle to get through.
Yeah.
Here's a corner again. That one headed away.
Yeah, that was headed away by Anderson. But kept alive here by the Tigers.
The Tigers showing some fight. And, you know, they've played their best offensive ball since going down 3-0. Klauer
Wow.
makes a leaping save. Perhaps that's one that's worth a replay.
Yeah, and he's going to be on his knee, getting the wind knocked out of him a little bit. Telling his teammates and telling the ref he's okay, but the ref's going to call a stoppage nevertheless.
Well, with the stoppage, we might have a chance to take a look. Yeah, that's sort of the aftermath.
Yeah. Again, we talked about how Klauer wasn't, I guess, given the opportunity to show off his goalkeeping chops, but got the opportunity there and made a fantastic diving catch. It was a great ball from the Tigers, but sniffed out by Klauer.
Yeah, he's had an afternoon of it for sure.
Keep an eye on him. He looks all right.
Well, you know, he has been in the right spot for most of the balls that have come in on him. And, you know, just because you don't have to make a diving play doesn't mean that, you know, you haven't done your job. He was doing his job by being in the right spot in the first place.
Right, yeah. To liken it to basketball, a blocked shot is dramatic, but is sometimes indicative of not playing great positional defense. And Klauer definitely has that goalkeeping instinct. He knows where to be in the net. Big fans of multi-sport metaphors here.
Yeah, I was going to go with baseball. You know, when you see a shortstop make a diving play, it's often because they were out of position. But we've got some football in front of us now. 10 minutes left on the Tigers' season unless they pull off a miraculous 3-goal comeback.
Here's Klauer going to come out to take the penalty. Excuse me, not penalty kick. The free kick here. Sends it way downfield into the Tigers' offensive area. It's going to be cleared out though. There's Anderson, Penthouse.
And Callum Squires is in the game for Trinity. And I actually was chatting with him before the game, getting all the player pronunciations. Large Jude from London, England, city I have a special connection to. I lived there for a little while. And he looked at that point like if he had managed to get it by number 6 for Kenyon, that's Myers, he might have been in on goal, but Myers was up to the task.
Another offensive look here as Edwards controls the ball in the box. Oh, looked like he was gearing up for a shot, but might have gotten a little bit of a foul from Anderson.
Yeah, we might have a
This could be a
free kick. I'm not sure exactly if he was in the box. It was right on the line.
Yeah, it looks like it's just outside the box.
Foot outside of the box.
You can see Edwards hobbling a little bit. Looks like Anderson might have just gotten the back, maybe his Achilles heel there, but he's walking around. He's doing all right. So there's going to be Sackshaw taking the kick. We'll see if he goes direct here. I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
It's going to be a 4-man wall. 2 of the players, all 4 facing him. Here's the direct kick into the wall.
Yeah, not quite where you want to put it, right into the wall. But
yeah, it hit the second of 4 guys, second from the left, and right into the thick of it. And Squire off his foot, out of bounds for a goal kick.
Gonna look at some new faces on this Kenyon team.
Down to the ground after going up for the header is Brady Johnson. Probably a little over dramatic, but I don't really have an issue with that call.
No, I mean, again, we mentioned it earlier. As long as the refs are consistent, you have nothing really to complain about. And the foul calls, especially going up for those headers as well, they've been tight, but they've been consistent. Not wanting the game to get out of hand.
Here's Kenyon now, making a push.
Now he's going to play this ball over the Freund. Some slight hesitation by Morris there, as he couldn't tell whether he wanted to drop back or go for the ball. He decides to go for the ball, but that hesitation led to a collision between him and Freund. Everybody seems to be okay.
Out for a corner, and Kenyon's slow to send someone over there. As the seconds click off the clock.
Just about 7 minutes remaining here.
And a full 25 seconds or so wasted just in the setup for the corner kick. Here it is on the far post.
It's a big looping corner kick, and it's going to be cleared out by the Tigers.
And Kenyon wins. They've got 4-on-1, and the one is the one that wins. That's Kellen Reed winning it away from sure doom, keeping this game going.
Michaelis in the middle of the field trying to work his way around Kenyon defenders and passes it off to Kellen Reed.
So it's true through to Saxshog.
Saxshog, not a lot of time spent on the bench today. Certainly showing off his stamina. Not sure if he's been on the bench even once.
For a professional soccer game, that wouldn't be too impressive. But here we've got not quite free substitution, but loose substitution rules.
Yep.
Now it's ahead. Another Kenyon opportunity.
Yeah, here's Bennett. Squandered.
That'll go under the bleachers of the field hockey field just over the way. Tufts field hockey competing in the Final Four this weekend.
Geneva, New York, I believe.
Yeah, but none of you probably care about that if you're Trinity or Kenyon fans. On the near side, it's fought for. Michaelis has it. Won away by Penas. And now Bennett again. Bennett now has a buddy. But it's short. Johnson clears it.
Yeah. We have a Kenyon player on his knees here, but he's up and walking with a little bit of a hobble. That's Billy O'Neill.
O'Neill's trying to get the attention of the referee because he's not doing so well. We're going to get a stop to the clock as a result.
Again, I wasn't watching O'Neill because it was an off ball. I'm not sure if it's an injury or a sickness.
Well, he hasn't been violently ill on the field. I'm sure it has something to do with
I couldn't tell if he was like doubled up. Yeah, I guess it's looking like it's
a sudden case of pneumonia.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
No, I think he's got an issue with his knee, and the trainer's coming out to address it.
A lot of stoppages today for injury.
Yeah, well, you'd expect nothing less. You know, these teams, 2 of the last 16 remaining, leaving it all on the field.
Yeah. But again, assuming that Kenyon plays tomorrow, it's going to be tough to play 2 games in 2 days with this sort of physicality taking a toll.
The Tufts game was a little bit less physical, which is not necessarily what was expected. There was some controversy last week with UMass Boston playing a chippy game, to say the least. But then earlier this morning, the match between the two went off relatively uneventfully. And, of course, Tufts will have the benefit of a couple extra hours of rest. This game starting about 3 hours after the early game this morning.
Yeah, interesting controversy with that UMass Boston team, making a lot of the local news outlets, but not a lot of controversy surrounding either Kenyon or Trinity. So,
just a lot of success for these 2 programs.
Yeah.
So O'Neill is off the field. He walked off eventually under his own power. So Albrecht will come in at number 15 for Kenyon. Just the 5th game he's appeared in all season. He probably did not expect to get any minutes, but he'll play the last 5. And up by 3, it's Kenyon in the attacking zone. Kellen Reed, the defensive star of the last few minutes, wiggles it away. Now on the attack, here's True. True, and it's going across the line, just evades Michaelis.
Vasquez was there.
And Kenyon.
An awkward header there.
Yeah. an attempted clear, but really put it in more danger for Kenyon.
Keyword attempted.
Eventually gets out the back, off the foot of one of the Tigers.
Goal kick, because we have just under 4 minutes left in today's contest.
Yeah, a lot of good words to be said, and a lot of words have been said about Clower.
Ball's going to be left out of no man's land as Kenyon takes control of it. I believe that's Bennett again.
On the far side, another opportunity, shot on goal, and that's number 4. Kenyon takes a 4-0 lead, and that's going to be number 18 for Kenyon. Here you see the replay. Greg McNear finding it for his first goal of the season.
Yeah, McNear having a great game. He was involved in the, I believe, the second goal of the game. And then a fantastic assist by Bennett there. But good job by McNear to control it, plays it off a volley, puts it in the back of the net. Again, not a lot of defense to work around as Trinity was playing with that offensive look, but it was just, a good job controlling the ball and a great goal by Kenyon.
Yeah, it's one of those kinds of goals that only happens at this phase in the game.
Yep.
If it's a tight 1-2-0 game, Trinity does have guys back. It's really hard to fault anyone on the Trinity side for that one.
Yep.
But a great moment for McNear.
Satisfying goal for Bennett, who had a lot of those offensive looks and was trying to get that ball across to one of the other Kenyon attackers, and finally does so with McNear. So good job by Bennett.
So with 3 minutes to play, it certainly seems like we're in line for a rematch. Tufts and Kenyon, if it stands, will play here tomorrow at 1. You can come on out to Bellow Field. Stands are sure to be packed with Jumbo supporters, and Kenyon has quite the contingent as well. You can also tune in on Jumbocast. The ball goes off the side of the net for a goal kick to Kenyon.
Clower gets set up for another goal kick here.
Elsewhere in the bracket, Redlands has taken down Chicago. They'll move on to face the winner of Benedictine and St. Thomas.
Was that an upset?
Believe so, though I'm not an expert on those teams.
Yeah, I briefly looked at the seeding, so I'm not entirely sure.
Franklin and Marshall moved on last night to play Calvin. They're going to play tomorrow. And Rutgers, Newark, and SUNY Oneonta are still underway. The winner will face Brandeis, and they're just going to be 8 teams left by the end of this afternoon.
Vasquez with the throw into Michaelis. Here's True on the sidelines, crosses it into the box, controlled by number 19, Chris Madden. It's True again.
Trinity just looking for something to take home with them. It's going to be a long flight back to San Antonio.
Yep.
Hunter now in a battle against Johnston. And Sackshog was on the ground. Trinity looking for a call. Under a minute to go.
Yeah,
one of the Kenyon players now goes down funny. Ahead now, again, not called offsides, and a foul called.
Yeah, those 2 Tigers coming in tough on, that's number 17, I believe, Gabe Freund.
Freund, we said, with the assist, was looking for his first goal. Clock continues to wind. And now 30 seconds and nothing going on, and they're going to take their time setting up for this free kick. And 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's going to be the last bit of action you see today.
And this is when you sort of wish there was extra time, because Kenyon can literally just stand around for the last minute of play. I'm not sure if they're even going to be required to take this kick. And here's the kick. Shot on goal, wide. And that'll do it. Whistle at the very end, but Kenyon will advance to the Elite 8. A dominating 4-0 win over Trinity. The fans here stand and applaud.
Yeah, and they've earned that applause. Besides a maybe shaky first quarter, in the later half of the first half and the entire second half, this Kenyon team played fantastically.
And not on screen, but showing good sportsmanship, that Clower, with his 11th shutout of the season, has gone up to some of the strikers for Trinity to say, good match, shake some hands, as the Trinity players a bit dejected, seeing their season come to a close, and we want to make sure we make note of the seniors that have played for the Tigers now for the last time. In no particular order, that's Callum Squires, Todd Edwards, Francisco Vasquez, Zach True, Dalen Gordon, Todd Whitaker, and those are the seniors for Trinity who put on a good show. I mean, we talked a lot about Gordon. We saw Squires there in the end game. Whitaker, probably not the performance he was hoping for, but a great career to be proud of. And Kenyon will move on to face Tufts, and that's going to be a good one. We here at Jumbocast have been covering Tufts all season. They actually lost in the NESCAC quarterfinal. We're very lucky to receive an at-large bid. It's actually the third consecutive season that they came in with a number 1 or number 2 rank in the NESCAC tournament before losing in the quarterfinal, winning an at-large bid. It's not really a good habit to be in, but we're going to have a great match tomorrow afternoon. I'm fairly sure of it.
Absolutely.
Any last thoughts on this one before we go off into the ever-approaching early afternoon sunset?
Honestly, just look to see Trinity next year. I mean, this is a perennial D3 tournament team. And again, it's a tough loss to have today, but they're going to – I know you can put money on them having a great season next year and making another appearance in the tournament, so don't count them out.
Well, the players here for Trinity greeting their supporters.
And knocking over our camera.
It's not quite. Our equipment, you know, we got more. We got replacements.
Exactly.
So that'll about do it for us. From Bellow Field, we've got a final. Kenyon 4, Trinity nothing. Elite 8 matchup coming up tomorrow between the hosting Jumbos and the Lords. For Owen Finnegan, I'm Bernie Birnbaum, and have yourselves a fine afternoon.
I did not expect that to happen. I knew we were going to have tons. We had like 100 on the RSVP list. Yeah, we're going to Cheesecake Factory. It works. I'll tell Matt. No, we're not getting cheesecake. The door's wide. We lost it. That's a huge upset. Hey, Brand Knights is like that's a minor upset. Chicago losing is a huge upset. Also, the Smag lost yesterday. Those are the three, all the number one seeds.